welcome back. So we are back at it again, and we're going to continue some testing with our AR Tactical 8, 8 gram S-type shaped ammunition. After the last test I had a really good first magazine with no jams. However, after that first shot that I got off in the second magazine of the 8 gram S-types, I had a real nasty, when I say nasty, it was a real nasty jam. The round flipped right around inside there. And after further inspection, I started pulling apart the magazines to look at some other things because, of course, I did find those burrs on pretty much every one of the 25 rounds. But they were easily corrected. Just I got a video on that on Tech Talk. In case you come across that, easily just took them off with a small file. So I know the problem now is not those burrs catching or contributing to the feed problem. However, when I was taking apart my magazines in order to double up the springs, because I was gonna try adding some spring tension to see if that helped at all, which I didn't end up doing. We'll do that if we need to, as the next step in troubleshooting. But what I did find was that issue that a couple other guys have been talking about, and I guess was also apparent with the BP 50 magazines, where the little follower tit, for lack of a more technical term, I guess that's what people call it, when you run it down, and I hadn't noticed it before until I was able to run the follower down without the spring, where there was no, it wasn't under spring tension or anything. I noticed that little follower tit was getting caught up inside the channel. It wasn't moving smoothly, even under just gravity. It would get caught up right about halfway, a little bit before halfway on the mag, and then you had to kind of push it through, and then it would free up a little bit towards the bottom of the mag. So what I ended up doing was taking that same file that I used to file off the burrs, and I ended up just going across it and working away little bit by little bit, and refitting the follower, do a little bit more, and just kept working it out until that follower by itself, without the spring, could move freely and with gravity dropping down nice and free. So I did that on not just the one mag that I had that came with the gun, but also my second magazine that I ordered as well, because both magazines had that problem. So it seems like this problem it's not just a one-off. Obviously it's not. It seems like it's kind of a rampant problem with these magazines as well. Something I didn't notice with the X68 mags. I don't believe I had that problem, and I've rebuilt those mags a couple times now. So, yeah, it's something, I guess it's just something you got to look out for. So, word of advice would be, maybe take these mags apart, take the spring out, check your follower, make sure that it's not getting hung up and down. So I feel like these are operating much smoother now. So if they were creating a feeding problem and it was contributing to the shaped ammo not feeding right, then hopefully this will rectify that. So we're gonna find out today. Wish me luck, because I need luck. And let's see what happens. I got 2 magazines of the 8 gram S type to shoot right now. Hopefully we'll be able to shoot all 12 rounds. Not on a single CO2, but I got an extra CO2 as well. So we're going to do that. So let me get my ears on, because this one is a bell ringer. Yeah. This one is a bell ringer. I mean, I thought the Pistelli was loud, but yeah, this one is marginally louder. Got some brand new ear protection here. And we're just gonna, actually, again, I always do this. Let's puncture it and check for leaks first before I totally plug up my ears. I already have a CO2 in the handle, and I have another one in my pocket that hopefully we'll get to use today. I also ended up replacing my 011 O-ring again, because the one I had purchased through O-rings and more was, it fit fine on the stock rear cap and pin assembly. But for some reason it didn't fit this MCS, the groove for that 011 in the MCS ASA adapter. It didn't fit well there. I didn't realize it at first, but upon using it, that's what was causing that weird gas leak that I had, that kind of just leaked for a few seconds and then sealed up. So I believe it was that. So I didn't have anything new. I was able to scavenger a lightly used or gently used 011 of a better quality that did fit in there. So I'm hoping that that's going to resolve the issue. And I got some other O-rings on order, so we'll see if the next batch come in, if they work. Yeah, it's kind of it's not the easiest thing trying to figure out which O-rings to order, but thankfully they're cheap. So, but anyways, we'll see if we can puncture this, and hopefully there's no leaks. If there's no leaks, we'll proceed with testing. All right. And let's hope it punctures properly. I don't have that little spacer in there today, so we're on our own here. Everything looks tight. Yeah, all right. All right, so it leaked down the mag well, but then it sealed back up again. So I'm still having some issues with it. I still believe suspect is that 011. But it stopped. So, hopefully I didn't lose too much gas. So let's see how it goes. Hopefully that's not going to be a good indication of my luck today. As long as these suckers don't jam up again on me, I'll be happy. And if they do jam, I hope it ain't as bad as it was. So we'll see if these magazines being cleaned up, they feed a little better. And make sure I don't grab my Pastelli mag, because I still get the Pastelli sitting here. All right, again, the follower lock is locked into place. Hear you jingle. Was that magazine video funny? The whole friggin' rung of balls went flying right out. I mean, it was perfect timing. If I tried to do it that way, it wouldn't have came out that good. It had me rolling. I was laughing first time I rewatched that video. All right, so here's our first magazine of our 10-round AR Tactical S-type shaped ammunition. And let's put the laser on. We're going to use the X-Radar in this case since it's a light pistol. And we're going to go with shot 1. Oh, and also the factory original spring was previously reinstalled. The only mod on the gun right now would be this rear ASA, which, as far as I can tell, it only added about 6 feet per second. There's no further expansion chamber or anything on it. So, all right, let's see what we get. Shot 1 of the S-type 8 gram. (348 feet per second). Not hearing any continued leaks. Hopefully we're jam free. Let's try shot 2. 342 feet per second. Let's try shot 3. Woo! 336 feet per second. And that one's ping-ponging off the walls. What is that? Shot 3. Let's go for shot 4. 326 feet per second. Shot 5. 316 feet per second. And the last one, shot 6. 310 feet per second. And they're all over the place. All right, so we had a couple bounce back, but so first magazine looks good. Magazine's undamaged. I don't know if you can see with the light. Nothing in the breech. All 6 rounds cycled perfectly. No problems at all. It felt good. And that's even fighting that weird little 011 leak I got going on in here still. We'll put a fresh CO2 in it, and then we'll run another magazine. This is where we had problems, was on the second magazine last time. But we'll see how it works out this time. Now that we got two magazines that have been not modified, but cleaned up a little bit. That should be feeding good. All right. All right. Feel the bolt release. Everything sounds normal. Normal. We're going to check our puncture. I had a really good puncture on the, it seems like the first puncture is always kind of good. That's how it happened last time, the second time. But I also had that other 011 in there that wasn't right. Yeah, this puncture looks pretty good. No complaints there. I am going to shoot a little shot of silicone in here, a little bit of this Blaster silicone lubricant. Let's put a little bit of that in there. Then we'll take our pocket warm. Been warming in the pocket. Putting that in there. And then we'll put our puncture cap on. All right, everything looks good there. We're going to go ahead and puncture this. Again, wish me luck. Okay, no leaks that time, and I could feel and hear the bolt, even with the hearing protection on, so it's possible maybe you guys could hear it too. So we look good there. We have our second magazine of 6 of the AR Tactical 8-gram S-type. These were fitting through a 681 ball gauge. Once I deburred them, sliding through real nice. So definitely can shoot this in anything that's 6.82 barrel and higher without any major concerns. Well, providing the occasional jam. So, all right, again, the follower's lock is engaged. We're going to let the gun do the work for us and unlock that. This way we ain't spilling our ammo everywhere. All right. Magazine 2, shot 1. (340 feet per second). Magazine 2, shot 2. 326 feet per second. Shot 3. 316 feet per second. Shot 4. 308 feet per second. Shot 5. 304 feet per second. And the last one, shot 6. 390 feet per second. Magazine looks good. It's intact. No jams. You know, I gotta say, folks, that I think we had a combination of issues that have been corrected, and time will tell. I mean, it's still possible I could have a jam later on with this. I don't think we can 100% jam proof these shaped ammo in a semi-auto. Anyways, you know, in a revolver it's a little different, but when you got a device that's spring-fed ammunition, there's always the chance that something's going to hang up. But by knocking off those burrs, which definitely should not have been there and do need to be removed if you have that on your ammo, definitely look over your ammo, deburr it. But in addition to that, these magazines have to be, you got to sand them down somehow. You got to file them down because they're not feeding right. The first round all the time feeds fine because it's under the greatest pressure. But once you start getting into the, a couple rounds down, it's hit and miss. It's hit and miss. I mean, the first mag, I didn't have a problem. It was only the second, it was only the second mag. But in this case, yeah, I put a lot of lube in this thing, so it's going to be spitting out. But in this particular case, with these magazines being filed down, and they're feeding much better. This might have resolved the issue. So thank you guys. Thank you to my viewers and a couple other channels out there. There's this one kid here that's got a channel. I always forget the name of his channel. I follow him, but he was really pushing this early on, and he also was pushing the same fix with the BP50. I wish I could remember your name, buddy, but if you're watching this, thank you. Thank you that was good. You did the community good service by mentioning that. I wish I had paid closer attention to it earlier on. I honestly didn't think I had the problem because under spring tension, I didn't see it binding up anywhere, that nipple binding up or that tit binding up on the follower. However, once I took the spring out, it was clear. It was clear it was binding up. So again, if you think you don't have the problem, you may want to pull the spring out. Super easy to do. Just push in on that little get a little screwdriver or something and push in on that little dot there, and then this whole piece will slide right out. And just be aware the spring might come flying out at you. Take the spring out and just run the follower back and forth with a pencil or something, or a pen, and by itself without the spring, and see if you're hanging up anywhere. For me, I was hanging up right in the middle. It was fine at first, and then it would hang up a little bit and get really rough. And then at the bottom, it would free up again. So all I had to do is just a couple passes with the file, try it again. I think I did that a couple times, and I got it working good. Once it works good, reinstall the spring and the end cap, and you're good to go. So, yeah, I'm going to try to keep this video under 20 minutes, and it looks like we're at 17 minutes. So, thank you for watching, guys. Looks like we had some successful testing today of the 8-gram S-type shaped ammunition by AR Tactical. Thank you for watching. Peace out.